Peace Collective, we're coming to you for the weekly reading channeled with the guidance of Archangel Michael for 4/13/2026. So I'm going to get, excuse me, right into this reading. The first card that came out is the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords energy speaks to the traumas that you've endured and the wisdoms that have been gained based off of these traumas and experiences in life. You are in a place right now where you are guarded with your energy, and rightfully so. In this new chapter, you are using discernment, okay, with who you engage with, who you speak to, who you allow to be in your energy. This is not necessarily a bad phase. This is a protective phase because you know that you are in a phase of exploration. You know that you are in a phase of showing up for yourself. Your past experiences, your past trials allowed you to ultimately bloom, okay? In your inner world through your trials, through your tribulations. And in this blooming, you've become this version of self that you never want to lose. And in becoming this version of self, this has made you look at who you engage with, who you speak to, who you deal with, who you allow in your energetic field. And this is where you're moving with wisdom in this next phase of your life. Now, I just recorded a reading, my last reading, which speaks to you know, um, it looks like you're taking a step backwards, but really is in line with your destiny. Okay. And I feel like you're being put in a position where now the wisdoms that you have gained in what seems like a setback, okay, now is allowing you to make the right decisions, right? It's kind of like starting from ground zero again. Oh, that's what I'm gonna call this message, ground zero. So it's like starting from ground zero, okay, and understanding that you're operating from a the very lowest level right now. And all you can do is climb your way back up. Now, in climbing your way back up, again, this is where the Queen of Swords is coming out. This is where discernment is coming in and who you engage with, who you spend time with, who you allow access into your inner world. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant came out, and for me, the Hierophant is actually speaking to like masculine energy. This is speaking to a merging of the divine feminine and divine masculine inside your soul, right? So your energies are balanced within. This is speaking to like a marriage energy, right? Of the harmonious energies within your spirit, right? I want like this, like the yin and the yang. And there's no more running from your divine masculine, especially if it's energetically. Okay, this energy is very prominent in your energetic field, um, and he's there. He's there from a protective standpoint, right? Well, I feel like the Hierophant is actually speaking to the marriage, right? And who is worthy of aligning with this version of yourself. Not necessarily the wounded aspect of yourself, but more so that aspect of yourself that has risen from the wounded part, right? After the healing. The aspect of you that has risen in consciousness and now knows that you're going to make the right decisions, the right moves, the right choices in your life moving forward. And you've aligned with the highest version of self in this timeline, or you're on the road to align to that with the highest version of self. You are constantly making the choices to embody that, and in choosing self and choosing divinity, the Hierophant, the divine masculine, was able to come in. Okay, and so this marriage has taken place. Then we have the King of Wands. Now, this is to me again speaking to the divine masculine, and I have to go into the next card, right? Because the next card is really the Three of Swords. There is some sadness that you are experiencing right now, and it could be where you are at physically, okay? And this could be again, or the things that you left behind. This is speaking to the things that you left behind. This could be friends, this could be, old lives, old lovers. This could speak to, old acquaintances, family members. You're moving on, but there is this sadness that you're dealing with. And I don't want to sit here and say that it's too profound, right? But there are moments where these tears are coming out that you can't help but to release these tears because these tears are cleansing wounds, right? This is where you understand that though that old life is being closed out, those old chapters, those old connections, they're no longer going to be in existence, right? Into this version of yourself and this life that you are crafting for yourself. So give me one moment, y'all. As you are releasing these tears, okay, for the old connections that were not serving you, it's okay because you genuinely cared about some of these people. You genuinely loved some of these people. And it doesn't mean that the connections even have has to be broken off like just recently, even though in some cases I do believe that that's the case. I feel like there's been certain amends, or not amends. There's been certain releases, right? Letting go. Recently that have taken place where you understand that these people have wounded you. You understand that you know, your wounded self didn't help the situation, right? Give me one moment, y'all. So you're understanding that the wounded self, is basically letting go. She's no longer, or he, right? It's no longer carrying that heaviness of those situations, even your behaviors in those situations, whether you actively picked up the phone or, to text someone, call someone, or even send a message in any type of way through social media, whatever, to sit here and say, you know what, hey, our relationship went down the hill. And it could have been again based off of their actions because I feel like this is what it was, but you understand that your wounded self did not add any type of um, assistance in those connections. So it's not an amends by any means. It's more so I'm walking away, but I'm walking away in peace. I'm walking away without any hate in my heart. I'm walking away with understanding. Give me one moment. Your understanding that you're walking away in peace is your way of letting go and opening and allowing space for the divine, okay, to bring in this chapter, for you. So with the King of Wands, I feel like the reason why he came up to the forefront before the Three of Swords is that he's protective. He's watching over you, basically encapsulating you with love, okay, protection, light at this time, and he's waiting also for his turn in a sense to be able to occupy more of your time as you allow the heaviness, as you allow the heaviness and these tears to ultimately cleanse these wounds of the separation that has taken place from connections that should have been crucial in your life. So he's waiting but making sure that nothing else is coming in the midst to disturb you. um we have the Knight of Wands, which to me is kind of like after you are going through. Give me. So the Knight of Wands coming up to me speaks to you actively taking flight and leaving, the old past behind. This is you riding your horse into your new life. This is you showing up for yourself. This is you, taking chances, walking boldly, not allowing anything or anyone to dim your light, your circumstances. And it's so much in alignment with one of the dreams I had recently because it speaks to like you're kind of like prepared for things to go in a certain kind of way. But it's like, oh, joke's on you, it's actually going to turn out a whole lot better than you've even imagined. And so this is the moment where you're showing up for yourself, and the divine is also going to show up for yourself. So this is a really beautiful moment of, I don't want to sit here and say unfolding. This is actually a really beautiful moment of becoming. This is a beautiful moment of, understanding the position and the stature that you're meant to be in and not hiding from it. So, yeah, the overarching card that we have as well is Queen of Pentacles. This Queen of Pentacles energy is speaking to the fact that this is, surrounding the good, the abundance that you are crafting in your life, your prosperity. You're going after what is yours, unapologetically so. You know that you are spiritually wealthy and that your life is going to be a reflection of divinity. Your life is going to be a reflection of the all that it's all. And it's okay to stick out like a sore thumb, all right? Um, this is really beautiful moments, really beautiful unfolding, and this is your time to ultimately keep honoring yourself. And this is where your root chakra is going to start changing, your root chakra experience. So your life on the earth plane, it's what's getting upgraded, it's what's getting manifested. So y'all, thank you so much for tapping into this message with me in spirit. I am very grateful to be able to bring you this collective. Take care. Peace.